Okay, hi everyone. My name is Jordan and I am a children's librarian at the Chicago Public Library. And today I'm going to use TinkerCad to show you how to create your own custom avatar. So for those who don't know, an avatar, usually when we're talking about an avatar, it's something that stands in for a person in a virtual space. So if you're playing a video game or if you're online, it's either a figure or an icon that stands in for a real person in the real world. So today we're going to design our own avatars. This lesson is based on the Create Your Own Avatar lesson available under Lessons in TinkerCad. So if you're following along with that lesson, this is step 7. And what you see on the screen is my work plane in TinkerCad. I'm already signed in. If you don't have a TinkerCad account, you can go to our website at chipublib.org/SLC3D printing and join our classroom, or you can create your own account as well. All right, so let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do today is create my base for my avatar. And I am actually just going to create it to design my avatar, and then I'm going to remove it. The reason I created a shape to design my avatar is because I wanted to make sure that I kept my avatar within the size of a 60 by 60 millimeter cube. So I'm using a 60 by 60 millimeter cylinder because I prefer to work on that space. And then at the end, I'm actually going to remove that. So 60 by 60. But if you are designing an avatar and you are worried that it won't stand up, keeping a base like this, that's just very short. I just made it 2 millimeters high, and that will fit within that 60 by 60 millimeter cube will help keep your design upright if that's what you would like. So if you would prefer to keep it in your design, please feel free to do so. And I've actually, prior to filming this video and working in TinkerCad, I've already drawn my avatar out and figured out my dimensions. So as I'm typing in dimensions, I've drawn everything out on graph paper, and that's how I'm coming up with those sizes. So I recommend that you do that as well. It's a nice way to start. So the first thing that I'm doing is I'm dragging my cube to my work plane. You should see it in red. This is actually going to be the foot of my avatar. Move this because it's in my way. And my first foot is going to be 14 millimeters by 10 millimeters by 7 millimeters. It's just a little block foot. My avatar looks like a character from like a Minecraft. It's made out of cubes, and my head is a cylinder shape. So you'll see at the end. It looks like a very rudimentary avatar made out of shapes. Okay, and then after my first foot, I'm going to make a leg for my foot. So I'm going to draw another box from my basic shapes list on the right of the screen, and I'm going to make it 7 millimeters on this side, 9 millimeters on this side, and I'm going to leave it at 20. And I'm going to, I want to center it on my foot first, just to get my bearings. I want it to be centered a little bit. But then as I'm looking at it, I think, oh, a foot doesn't really look like that. It's usually off to the side a little bit. So I want a portion of it to stick out of the front. So I'm going to take my leg shape and go back just a little bit so I have something that looks a little bit more like a foot. I don't want it to topple over, which is why I didn't put it all the way to the back. Okay, I'm going to group these two shapes together using my group tool in the top right hand of the screen. because that is now a foot. And I want to keep those shapes together as I drag them onto my base. I want another reason I'm using the base is because I want to be able to use it to align some of my pieces. It makes it easy. It acts as a guide for me. So I'm going to use my align tool, and I'm actually going to align this just so that it's lined up in the center on one side of the base. That looks good. Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to copy and duplicate this leg and move it over. And I'm using my arrow keys right now to move it away. Okay, perfect. So those are 2 legs of my avatar. Hopefully you're starting to envision what it will look like. Okay, next I'm going to take another cube. This is mainly made out of cubes. It's really fun to see how you can manipulate the different shapes in TinkerCad to make things, to make sculptures, to make objects, to make little figures. My body is going to be 19 millimeters by 26. I want it a little wider so that I could put it on top of my legs and have some space over on each side. And I'm gonna keep it, let's see, how tall is this? It's 20 millimeters. Let me make it a little bit taller. Perfect. All right, so I want to center my body cube onto my base as well. So I just held shift to select my cube and my base, and to see that I have 2 shapes selected over here. And I'm going to use my align tool and align them to the center. It's already in the center on this side, perfect. All right, and as you can see, my legs have disappeared because now I need to make sure that I'm building up on the Z plane. So I'm going to use this little black triangle that's kind of hovering over my cube shape to raise my body up into the world. Perfect. And I like to just check on all sides to make sure that I am, that it looks like I am attached to my legs, and it does look like that has happened. So hooray. Zoom out a little bit. Okay, so after that, I'm going to add my head shape. I decided to switch my head, to switch from the boxer cubes to a cylinder shape, just because it spoke to me. So you can choose whatever shape speaks to you as well. My cylinder is 18 by 18 millimeters. And I'm going to make it a little higher just in case I want to plant it into my body. So I am holding shift right now. I have my head shape selected, and I also have my base selected. So you can see that I have 2 shapes. I'm going to align them again. I want this head to be in the center. And since I've used my base to align everything, I know that it's gonna line up with my body as well. So that's why I need that. I thought it would be a little bit easier. All right, and then I'm gonna use the same tool to move the same black arrow to move my head up. And that looks good. Perfect. Do you see it coming together? Got a head, I got a body, I've got 2 legs and 2 feet. I'm going to now add my face. So I'm just dragged over a sphere shape. It's on the right panel where the basic shapes are listed. And I'm going to actually make it pretty small because these are going to be eyes. So I'm going to make it 2 millimeters by 2 millimeters by 2 millimeters. Awesome. And you can see that it's flat right on the plane. So when I drag it over, it's going to be changing my size. When I drag it over, it's going to be the same problem. It's going to like just disappear into my face. So what I'm going to do is raise it up so that I can see what I'm doing with it. And I'm going to take it. I'm actually just going to move it back this way. So I just turned my figure to the side so that I could see the profile of my avatar because I want to see where my eyes end up. Okay, so there's one eye. We're not there yet. Another thing that you can do is you can use your align tool to hold shift, grab each part, and this time I want it to align with the very front of the, I want it to align with the front of the cylinder. Let's see. Those things are what I want to do. Okay. I was just watching, and there's a little highlighted outline a little like faded outline that shows you what will happen when you choose one of the dots to align, and none of them were the outcomes I wanted. So I'm going to not do that and instead just manually embed my eye into my cylinder. That looks good. And I'm going to maybe put over a little bit. Perfect. And I'm going to use my copy, duplicate, and repeat button at the top next to the trash can. And slide another eye over as well. Let's move this one over just a tip. Okay. There is my face with my two eyes. My body, my two legs, my 2 feet. So close. All right. So next I'm going to make the mouth. To do that, I'm going to drag the round roof shape over to the work plane. And this one I want to rotate because I want my, oops, should have done 180, not 90. Let's try that again. I'm going to rotate it to 180 degrees so that it looks like a happy face instead of a sad face. Because I want my avatar to be happy. I am usually smiling. My avatar will be too. All right, so I'm going to change the dimensions of this roof shape, which we're now looking at as a mouth shape. I want it to fit on my avatar's face, so I just changed it to 5 millimeters by 4 millimeters by 3. Let's see. 5 by 4 by 3. Okay. There's a cute little mouth. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to move this over to my face, my head, my cylinder shaped head. First, I will move it onto my face. And then I will raise it up. See a mouth. Oh, no, a bit too far. Okay. And I want it to be sticking out a little bit because this is going to be a whole shape. Okay. Oh, look at my happy little avatar. Okay. So I'm going to click on my blue round roof and I'm going to make that a hole. Looks very happy. Okay. We're almost done. So we have a whole body. I like to check in on my design as I am working on it. So a lot of the times I will select all of my shapes and group them so that I can see Now, oh, is there a hole in the face? It looks like there is. Are all my pieces connected? I think it helps to group things together. Just to check in and make sure everything is going the way that you like it to be. I'm actually going to make my mouth go a little bit deeper because when I grouped it, it looked a little narrow to me. Perfect. All right. Oh, look at the happy little avatar. So we're going to make 2 arms. My first arm is going to be, you guessed it, a cube shape. And I'm going to make them a little bit smaller, maybe 7 millimeters by 7 millimeters. I'm going to actually just leave them at 20. And I will drag one over to my circle base that I made. And I am going to actually go to the side of my body so that I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to hold shift and select my arm and hold shift and select my base. I'm going to align them. I can't see the dot. There's the dot. So that it's in the center of the side of my body. And I'm going to copy this arm. I'm going to put another one over here. There you are. I'm going to do the same thing. So I have 2 arms, right? Yes, 2 arms kind of hanging down below my body. I'm going to line up my view of my work plane so I can see my avatar's profile. I'm going to hold down shift and select my arm. I'm going to hold down shift and I'm going to select my base. I'm going to use my align tool and I'm going to center it to my body. Perfect. Cool. Looking great. So we'll work with our first arm first. We need that obviously to go up on the Z-plane so that it is in midair. And I think I want mine to be waving. So I will, there you go. Put one arm sort of up like that, a little bit higher. And then another arm will maybe be hanging at the side a little bit more, but still connected at my shoulders and not at my knees where it was. Awesome, perfect. Cool, so we have my avatar. I think to add to make it seem a little dynamic, maybe I will make it seem like my avatar is waving. So I'm going to change the angle of my arm that's sticking up to be maybe, let's try 20. So we're going to tilt it by 20 degrees. Let's see how that looks. Oh, yeah. There you go. So there's my happy avatar waving at us, and maybe I'll do the same. I'll do something similar over here, just slightly to get it off of my, oops, I don't want it to go that way, to get it off of the body of my avatar. Let's do maybe 10. Yeah, okay. So let's do like 15. Okay. Yeah, so my avatar is waving on one side. You actually also could add like a shape for a hand if you wanted to. There are tons of modifications you can do to this. Please play around with it. I'm going to move my arm in a little bit because it looks a little odd jutting out so far. Perfect. And then like I told you at the beginning, I actually didn't find that I needed a base. So I am going to get rid of it because I don't need it. Let me group my objects too to make sure that everything looks okay. It looks great. So we ask that your designs fit in a 60 by 60 millimeter cube. If you ever are not sure, because it is definitely hard to tell when you're looking at your work plane online, you can draw a cube over and you can change the dimensions. 60 by 60 by 60. And I think my person fits in that cube. So we are good. All right, so thank you for hanging out and watching our video tutorial on how to create an avatar. I hope that you create your own avatars, test it out, and play around with the shapes. And if you're interested in 3D printing and want to play around with unique and fun designs, you can join us this summer as a part of Make Summer Yours. Start with art, and you'll make your own miniature sculpture for our community sculpture garden. You can use free 3D modeling programs just like TinkerCad to design and print and create your sculpture, and then you can submit them to be printed at one of our print pickup locations online on our website. We hope that you'll join us and be a part of this fun collaborative citywide movement. I can't wait to see what you build. Thank you.